What if love had no rules? Could you marry someone 60 years older or commit to a partner mistaken for your child? Some couples defy all expectations, proving love knows no limits. From extreme height differences to unconventional marriages, these 20 couples challenge everything we think we know about romance. 1. Sean Stevenson and Mindy Niss. Love often comes with expectations, one of the most common being that men should be taller than their partners. But for Sean Stevenson and Mindy Niss, height was never an issue. Sean, who stood at just 2 feet 8 inches, had a rare condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, causing his bones to be extremely fragile. Despite spending most of his life in a wheelchair, Sean was a successful motivational speaker who inspired thousands worldwide. Mindy Niss, standing at 4 feet 11 inches, met Sean in 2009 through a mutual friend. Their connection grew quickly, leading Mindy to move to Chicago to be closer to him. By 2012, they were married, proving that love isn't measured in inches. But their relationship wasn't without judgment. Internet trolls ridiculed them, with some assuming Mindy was only with Sean for his success. Others questioned whether they could have a fulfilling marriage, given Sean's physical limitations. But Sean never let the critics get to him. He often joked that Mindy was just as lucky to have him as he was to have her. Their love was strong until Sean's passing in 2019. Even in death, his story remains a testament to love that defied limitations. And speaking of couples with extraordinary physical differences, let's meet another pair whose love story became a world record. 2. Paulo and Catiucia Barros. When you think of Guinness World Records, you might imagine people doing bizarre stunts or setting athletic milestones. But Paulo and Catiucia Barros earned their place in history for something far more personal. They are officially recognized as the shortest married couple in the world. Together, their combined height is just 5 feet 8 inches, shorter than the average man. Paulo, standing at 34.8 inches, and Catiucia, at 35.2 inches, both have forms of dwarfism that make them among the smallest adults in Brazil. They first met on social media and began chatting online. At first, Catiucia wasn't impressed. She even blocked Paulo, thinking he was annoying. But fate had other plans. 18 months later, she unblocked him, and their friendship turned into something deeper. After years of long-distance romance, Paulo proposed, and they married in 2016 in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by family and friends. Despite their small stature, their love was anything but small. They continue to inspire people around the world by showing that love isn't about height, it's about connection. But height differences aren't always about being short. Some couples struggle with the opposite challenge, one partner being far taller than the other. This brings us to our next story, featuring a man whose love life was shaped by his towering height. 3. Sultan Kosin and Merve Debo. Imagine standing at 8 feet 3 inches tall. That's the reality of Sultan Kosin, the tallest man in the world. Born in Turkey, Sultan's extreme height was caused by a tumor affecting his pituitary gland, leading to continuous growth well into adulthood. But while his height made him a world record holder, it also made finding love incredibly difficult. Sultan longed for companionship, but most women were either intimidated by his size or found it impractical to be with someone so tall. He even visited London in 2009, hoping his newfound fame would help him meet someone special. However, it wasn't until 2013 that he found love with Merve Debo, a woman from Syria who stood at 5 feet 9 inches tall. Their wedding was a private affair, attended by close family and friends. But their relationship faced major challenges. The biggest issue wasn't height, it was language. Merve spoke Arabic while Sultan only spoke Turkish. Over time, communication struggles caused tension between them, and they eventually divorced. Despite their separation, Sultan remains hopeful about love. He later expressed interest in finding a Russian wife, believing Russian women have kind hearts and strong family values. While the Sultan's relationship was marked by height, some couples have to navigate even greater physical challenges. Our next story introduces a pair who constantly deal with mistaken identity, often being seen as father and daughter rather than husband and wife. 4. Jonathan and Ivan. When Jonathan and Ivan walk down the street, people stare. Not because they're celebrities, but because their height difference leads strangers to believe they're father and daughter. Jonathan, standing at 5 feet 4 inches, is of average male height. But his wife Ivan is just 3 feet 10 inches tall due to a rare genetic disorder called Fanconi-Bickel syndrome. Ivan's condition affected her bone development, meaning she had to use a wheelchair for much of her childhood. As a teenager, she avoided wearing shorts or dresses, fearing people would judge her for her height. But everything changed when she met Jonathan. Unlike her past relationships, Jonathan never treated her differently. He made sure she was included in every aspect of his life, and soon their friendship blossomed into love. However, public perception has always been an issue. Many people assume Jonathan is her caretaker rather than her husband. When they go out with their young daughter, some strangers even think he has 2 children rather than a wife and child. The couple has learned to navigate these stares, often exchanging a secret code word when they catch someone taking a picture of them. Despite the unwanted attention, Jonathan and Ivan remain deeply in love. Their story challenges the idea that love has to look a certain way to be real. But not all couples face scrutiny because of their physical differences. Some have to deal with judgment because of the age gap between them. And that leads us to a couple whose love defied generations. 5. Sanaya Masilela and Helen Shabangu. Marriage is often seen as a commitment between 2 consenting adults, but in a rare case in South Africa, an 8-year-old boy became a groom, not once, but twice. Sanaya Masilela married Helen Shabangu, a 62-year-old woman, in a ceremony that shocked many. Their wedding was not based on romance, but on a traditional belief. Sane's family claimed that their ancestors had instructed them to arrange the wedding through a spiritual message. Fearing bad luck if they ignored the request, they followed through with the ceremony. Helen was already married to another man, but she agreed to take part in the ritual marriage to honor the tradition. Because the marriage was purely symbolic, Sani and Helen never lived together or had a romantic relationship. However, when the family held a second wedding a year later to complete the tradition, the backlash intensified. Many questioned whether it was ethical to involve a child in such a ceremony. Despite the controversy, Sanai insisted he was happy, though he planned to marry someone his own age when he grew up. While this marriage was based on tradition, our next story takes us into another unusual realm, when love goes beyond human relationships. 6. Shi Tianrong and Mochi. Most people find love in another person, but Shi Tianrong found his perfect match in a life-sized silicone doll. After experiencing heartbreak in human relationships, Shi realized he was more comfortable with dolls, believing they were easier to care for and less emotionally complicated. His attraction to dolls began after he first saw one in a Hong Kong store. Though the price was too high at the time, the thought of having a perfect, non-demanding partner stayed with him. In 2019, he finally bought a silicone doll online, naming her Mochi. Unlike other doll owners, Shi insists his love is not purely physical. He does not engage in intimacy with Mochi, fearing it could damage her delicate skin. Instead, he treats her as a real partner, buying her expensive clothes, luxury accessories, and even an iPhone 12. In 2021, he held a wedding ceremony where he officially married Mochi in front of friends and family. While many mock Shi for his choice, he believes love should not be judged. His relationship challenges traditional ideas of companionship, but he isn't alone in this belief. Some people take unconventional relationships even further, like Amanda Rogers, who found her life partner in her pet. 7. Amanda Rogers and Shiba people often say that dogs are man's best friend. But for Amanda Rogers, her terrier, Shiba, was something even more, a life partner. After experiencing heartbreak with human relationships, Amanda realized that no one had ever provided her the unconditional love and happiness that Shiba did. So in 2012, she decided to celebrate their bond by holding a wedding ceremony in Split, Croatia, with 200 guests in attendance. Of course, the marriage was purely symbolic and not legally recognized. Amanda saw it as a way to honor the years of companionship she shared with Shiba. She described Shiba as the perfect partner, loyal, always happy, and never unkind. While some found the gesture sweet, others ridiculed her, saying that marriage is meant for humans, not pets. But Amanda didn't care about public opinion. For her, love comes in many forms, and Shiba had given her more happiness than any human ever had. Unfortunately, dogs don't live as long as humans, and Shiba has likely passed away since their wedding. But Amanda's story remains one of the most extreme examples of love-defying expectations. Some relationships, however, challenge traditions in a different way, like those involving more than two people, which is exactly what our next story explores. 8. Alexia, Doug, and Jacob. Most relationships involve two people, but for Alexia, Doug, and Jacob, 3 was the perfect number. Living in Miami, Ohio, this polyamorous family redefined what it meant to be in a committed relationship, proving that love isn't always confined to traditional norms. Alexia and Doug had been married for years when Alexia began developing feelings for Jacob, a longtime friend. Instead of hiding her emotions, she had an open conversation with Doug. To her surprise, he was willing to explore the idea of adding Jacob to their relationship. Despite the public assuming their dynamic was purely physical, Alexia insists their bond is based on emotional and familial connection. Doug and Jacob are both straight and do not have a romantic connection with each other. Instead, their focus is on co-parenting and maintaining a stable home. Their story attracted mixed reactions. Some supported their right to love as they pleased, while others criticized them, believing that relationships should remain between two people. Regardless of opinions, Alexia, Doug, and Jacob proved that love can exist in different forms. While their relationship was unconventional, it wasn't the only one that challenged societal norms. Our next couple proved that love could extend beyond shared values to shared extreme body modification. 9. Gabriela and Victor Peralta. For Gabriela and Victor Peralta, love isn't just about emotional connection. It's about shared passion for body modification. This couple from Argentina holds the Guinness World Record for the most body modifications between two partners. As of 2014, they had 84 modifications combined, including tattoos, piercings, body implants, and even a forked tongue. Victor's journey into body modification began when he got his first tattoo, a pair of stars on his forehead. Gabriela, inspired by his dedication, began her own transformation shortly after. Over the years, they continued pushing the boundaries of conventional beauty, covering their bodies in ink and surgical modifications. Many find their appearance shocking, but Gabriela and Victor see their modifications as an extension of their identity. They believe that body art is a personal choice and that people should not be judged for how they choose to express themselves. Their love story is not just about appearances, it's about mutual respect and shared experiences. And while they willingly changed their bodies, our next story features a couple where physical transformation was an unexpected part of their journey. 10. Kyle Jones and Marjorie McCool. When people see a couple, they often assume their ages are similar. But in the case of Kyle Jones and Marjorie McCool, their relationship broke that expectation entirely. In 2014, their love story shocked the world due to their massive age gap, 60 years. Kyle was 31 and Marjorie was 91. Unlike most men his age, Kyle had no interest in dating younger women. He openly admitted that he was naturally attracted to older women, often dating those over 60. Marjorie, a great-grandmother, was just one of several older women Kyle had been involved with at the time. Their connection, however, was undeniable. Many people were baffled by their relationship. Some thought Kyle had an ulterior motive, while others dismissed their love as a publicity stunt. But Kyle and Marjorie insisted that their attraction was real. Marjorie enjoyed the energy Kyle brought into her life, while Kyle found older women more mature and emotionally appealing. Though Marjorie has likely passed away since their relationship became public, their love story remains one of the most unusual in modern dating history. But while age gaps raise eyebrows, our next story takes it to an extreme, where one man was over a century old when he married a teenager. 11. Ahmed Mohamed Dore and Safia Abdullah. Some love stories challenge traditions, while others challenge time itself. In 2019, Ahmed Mohamed Dore, a Somali man who claimed to be 112 years old, married 17-year-old Safia Abdullah. Their 95-year age gap made their relationship one of the most controversial in modern times. Ahmed had already been married 5 times before, fathering 18 children. He said he had waited for Safia to grow up before proposing, insisting that he did not pressure her into marriage. According to Ahmed, he convinced Safia of his love using his wisdom and life experience. Safia's family supported the marriage, stating that she was happy with the arrangement. But outside their community, the reaction was far less accepting. Many questioned how a man of Ahmed's age could start a new marriage with a woman young enough to be his great-great-granddaughter. Some speculated whether Safia had any real choice, or if cultural expectations influenced her decision. Despite the backlash, the marriage proceeded, highlighting the stark cultural differences in how relationships are perceived worldwide. While Ahmed and Safia's relationship was shocking due to its extreme age gap, our next couple proved that love isn't just about how long two people have been together, it's about how long they can stay together. 12. Herbert and Zelmira Fisher. Few love stories stand the test of time, but Herbert and Zelmira Fisher's marriage did just that. When they tied the knot in 1924, they never imagined that their union would break records. But after 86 years together, they became the longest married couple in history, proving that love isn't just about finding the right person, it's about staying with them. Their relationship endured some of the most challenging times in history. From the Great Depression to World War II, from the Civil Rights Movement to the rise of modern technology, Herbert and Zelmira stayed side by side. Over the years, they raised 5 children, 10 grandchildren, and several great-grandchildren, leaving behind a powerful legacy. When asked about their secret to a lasting marriage, the couple credited their success to mutual respect and never considering divorce as an option. Zelmira once advised young couples that marriage was not a contest, and the key to success was treating each other as teammates, not competitors. Herbert died in 2011 at the age of 105, with Zelmira following 2 years later at 103. Their marriage is a testament to the idea that love, when nurtured with patience and understanding, can truly last a lifetime. But while Herbert and Zelmira love stood the test of time, our next couple turned heads for a completely different reason: their towering height. 13. Martin Van Buren Bates and Anna Haining Swan. Most couples deal with minor height differences, but when Martin Van Buren Bates and Anna Haining Swan stood side by side, they made history. At 7 feet 9 inches and 7 feet 11 inches, respectively, they were the tallest married couple in recorded history. Their love story began in the 1800s when they met while touring with a traveling circus. Both had spent their lives being stared at for their unusual height, but in each other, they found companionship and understanding. Their wedding in 1871 became a major event, attracting thousands of curious onlookers. Even Queen Victoria of England took notice, sending them gold watches as wedding gifts. But life as an exceptionally tall couple came with challenges. When Anna became pregnant, doctors were unsure how her body would handle childbirth. Tragically, their first child was stillborn, and their second, a baby boy weighing 23 pounds 9 ounces, survived only 11 hours. He remains the largest newborn ever recorded. Despite their hardships, Martin and Anna shared a quiet life together in Ohio, away from the public eye. Their love story, though marked by tragedy, remains a fascinating example of two people finding each other against all odds. But while height differences make for striking relationships, some couples stand out for another reason. One partner appears far older than the other, leading to years of public misunderstanding. 14. Vern Troyer and Genevieve Callan. Vern Troyer was best known for his role as Mini-Me in the Austin Powers films, but behind the fame, his personal life was just as intriguing. Standing at only 2 feet 8 inches due to cartilage hair hypoplasia, Vern was one of the shortest men in Hollywood. His relationships were often a topic of discussion, but none gained more attention than his marriage to Genevieve Callan. Vern and Genevieve's relationship started like any other romance. The couple shared a deep connection, and despite their differences in height, Genevieve stood at 5 feet 6 inches. They seemed happy together. However, their marriage became infamous for another reason. On January 22, 2004, the couple tied the knot in Los Angeles. But what should have been the start of their life together turned into one of the shortest celebrity marriages in history. Just a day after their wedding, Genevieve filed for annulment, citing irreconcilable differences. The public was left wondering what had gone wrong in just 24 hours. Some reports suggested issues related to Vern's struggles with alcoholism, while others speculated that the relationship had been troubled from the start. Vern later claimed that Genevieve had pursued the marriage for financial reasons, but the true story remains unclear. While their marriage ended as quickly as it began, Vern's legacy continued until his passing in 2018. His story remains a reminder that love doesn't always follow a predictable path. Speaking of unpredictable relationships, Our next couple challenges what it means to truly love someone beyond physical appearances. 15. Jayla Cooper and Jose Griggs. Some love stories last for decades, while others are heartbreakingly short. 9-year-old Jayla Cooper knew she didn't have much time left. Diagnosed with leukemia, she had only weeks to live. But before her time ran out, she had one final wish to experience a wedding. Jayla had spent much of her young life in the hospital where she met Jose Griggs, a fellow patient who became her closest friend. The two shared an unbreakable bond, and with her family's support, a mock wedding was arranged in 2009. Jayla walked down the aisle in a white dress, exchanging vows with Jose in a ceremony filled with love and laughter. This wasn't a real marriage, it was a celebration of friendship, a way for Jayla to experience a joyful moment before her battle came to an end. The wedding was a symbol of hope, reminding everyone that love isn't just about romance. It's about cherishing the time we have with those who matter most. Jayla passed away shortly after the ceremony, but her story touched hearts around the world. While her love was one of childhood friendship, our next story explores another emotional journey, one where a little girl found love and support in the face of terminal illness. 16. Aylid Patterson and Harrison Greer. When 5-year-old Aylid Patterson was diagnosed with terminal neuroblastoma, she created a bucket list of dreams she hoped to fulfill before it was too late. Among them was one wish that stood out: she wanted to marry her best friend, 6-year-old Harrison Greer. Harrison and Aylid had been inseparable since they met. They didn't see each other as just friends, they saw each other as forever partners, even in childhood. Moved by her request, Aylid's family arranged a beautiful mock wedding, making sure she got to experience her dream of a perfect wedding day. In July 2017, Aylid, dressed in a pink princess gown, exchanged vows with Harrison in an emotional ceremony. They promised to be best friends forever, sharing laughter and joy in their final days together. Tragically, Aylid passed away only a month later, but her story resonated with thousands. Her wedding was not about romance, but about love in its purest form, the kind that brings comfort even in life's most difficult moments. While this love was based on friendship, our next couple pursued a different kind of transformation, one that involved extreme physical changes. 17. Pixie Fox and Justin Jet Laika. Some couples bond over shared interests, but for Pixie Fox and Justin Jet Laika, their connection was built on a mutual obsession, achieving the perfect body through extreme plastic surgery. Pixie, a model, has undergone over 17 major procedures, including the removal of 6 ribs to create an impossibly small waist. Meanwhile, Justin has spent years modifying his appearance to resemble a real-life Ken doll. Combined, they have spent over $450,000 on cosmetic procedures. The two met after Justin followed Pixie's transformation journey online. They connected instantly, drawn together by their shared commitment to body modification. For them, surgery wasn't just about appearance, it was a lifestyle. However, their unusual transformation came with consequences. Many critics accused them of promoting unrealistic beauty standards, while others questioned whether they were addicted to surgery. But Pixie and Justin dismissed the negativity, insisting they were simply expressing their true selves. Despite their dedication to modifying their bodies, their relationship remained complicated. Love built on appearance is rarely permanent, and over time their paths drifted apart. But while they pursued physical perfection, our next couple found love despite facing physical challenges beyond their control. 18. Brie Scalese and Sheldon Nguyen. When Brie Scalese was 6 years old, a car accident left her paralyzed, forcing her to rely on a wheelchair for the rest of her life. For years, she struggled with self-image, feeling that her disability made her less desirable. She avoided posting pictures of herself in her wheelchair and often hesitated to talk about her condition. That all changed when she met Sheldon Nguyen through a dating app in 2019. Unlike others, Sheldon never saw Brie's wheelchair as a limitation. He treated her like any other person, making her feel seen and valued in a way she hadn't before. At first, Brie was hesitant to open up about her disability, fearing judgment. But as their relationship grew, she gained confidence and began embracing her true self. Sheldon's love helped her see that her wheelchair wasn't something to hide, it was a part of her story. Their relationship became an inspiration to many, proving that love isn't about physical ability, but about the connection between two people. While Bree's journey was about self-acceptance, our next couple had a love story that was just as unique, one defined by extreme height differences. 19. Elisson Silva and Francinaldo da Silva Carvalho. At 6 feet 8 inches, Elisson Silva is the tallest woman in Brazil. Her unusual height was caused by a benign tumor in her pituitary gland, leading to excessive growth. Growing up, Elisson was bullied for being different, making her feel isolated and insecure. But everything changed when she met Francinaldo da Silva Carvalho. Standing at 5 feet 4 inches, Francinaldo is more than a foot shorter than Elisson. Despite their height difference, he saw her for who she truly was, a kind, intelligent woman with a beautiful soul. Their love blossomed and they eventually got married. Their relationship drew attention, with many questioning how they made it work. Some people assumed Francinaldo had an ulterior motive or that Elisson should be with someone taller. But the couple ignored the negativity, focusing instead on their happiness. Their love story challenges the idea that couples need to match in height. They prove that love isn't about physical appearance. It's about how two people make each other feel. And as we reach the final story in our list, we look at a couple whose love story reminds us that, in the end, love is about overcoming any challenge together. 20. Tyler Barker and Chantel Stedman. Sometimes love isn't just about how a couple feels about each other, it's also about how the world sees them. Tyler Barker and Chantel Stedman's relationship became the center of controversy, not because of their actual age, but because of how they looked. Both Tyler and Chantel were 15 years old when they became parents. However, Tyler's appearance made it seem as though he was much older. His mature looks led people to believe that he was in a relationship with an underage girl, sparking backlash from those who assumed something was inappropriate. Strangers would often give them judgmental stares, with some even confronting them about their relationship. The couple constantly had to explain that they were the same age, but the rumors persisted. Despite the negativity, Tyler and Chantel focused on raising their child together, proving that their love was stronger than public perception. Their story highlights an unusual but real challenge in relationships: how society judges couples based on looks rather than reality. While their struggle was based on misunderstandings, our next couple faced far greater obstacles due to severe physical disfigurement. Their love story is a powerful reminder that attraction is not just about appearances, it's about seeing the beauty within. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.